1 0 500 0 7 Thusu. Robert's weathered hands, marked by decades of woodworking, hover over a half-finished crossword puzzle. 200 7 500 00 11 800. His calloused fingers hold the pencil like it weighs 1,000 pounds. 300 12 800 00 19,000. There's a difference between forgetting where you put your keys and forgetting what it feels like to know what to do with them. 400 20,000. 23 500. It's a subtle shift, a whisper that something has changed. 500 24,000. Mazos 29 through 500. Your brain, your most faithful companion, seems to be speaking a language you don't quite understand anymore. 6 Unsura Silra 30,500 User 33,000. The words are there. You know they are. 700 and 33,500. 39,800. But the pathway to them feels overgrown, like walking through a garden where the stepping stones have been covered by morning fog. 800 Zanzer 40 800 00 43,000. This isn't about memory loss. 900 43 500 00 48,000. This is about something more precious, that spark of clarity when everything just clicks into place. 10 Saupiti 9,000 50,000. Meet Dr. Aris Thorne. 11 Sandra 51 500 00 57 800. He's not your typical dementia specialist in a white coat. Dr. Thorne spends his days in people's living rooms, listening to their stories. 1200 58 800 001 5,000. His home office tells his story, bookshelves lined with neuroscience journals, vintage maps on the walls, and artistic brain models. 13 6 1 to 12,500. For years, we've been told that mental decline is just part of getting older. But what if that's one of the most dangerous myths? 1400 01 13,500 01 18,500. Doctor. Thorne's journey began with his father, a brilliant mechanical engineer with a mind sharp as a razor. 15 Uzras 19,000. Larsa 1 24,500 at 70. After years of taking multiple medications for minor health issues, his father didn't develop dementia. 600 25,000, 001 27,000, but he lost his spark. 1701 27,800, 01 31,500. The man who once solved complex puzzles for fun stopped fixing things around the house. 1801 32,000, 01 35,000. He was still there, but his essence had dimmed. 1900 01 36,000 Holland. 001 40,500. That experience taught me my core philosophy. Your body always whispers long before it screams. 20 1 41,000. 01 47,000. A restless night here, a lost joy there. A recipe that suddenly seems complicated. These aren't signs of the end. 21 zeros, your son. 47,500. 0 son 50,500. They're invitations to listen more carefully. To Cerberus 151,500. Cerberus 155,500. Dr. Thorne stands beside one of his artistic brain models, his voice gentle but confident. 23 Sundrausers 001 56,000 Holland. 202 Zalzlanders. Today, we're going to learn how to listen to one of the biggest whispers, the silent impact of medications we take every day. 24 Malda 0202 500 002 07. Because sometimes, what we think is aging is actually just our garden needing better care. 2500 02 08,000 002 13,500. The biggest misconception is that we think of the brain as a machine that wears out. Let me offer you a different way to see it. 26 2, 14 to 500. 002, 17 to 500. Thorne gestures toward a beautiful garden illustration on his wall. 27 and Surah, or 2, 18,000. 002, 22 Sunat. Your brain is a garden, a complex, vibrant ecosystem. 28. 02, 22, 500. Dutozau, 02, 26. Your thoughts, memories, and emotions are the flowers and fruit trees. 29 Soldras 2, 26, 500. Brotobestus 32,000. For this garden to thrive, it needs sunshine, that's nutrition. It needs water, that's oxygen, and it needs its most important helpers. 30 Soldras 02, 33,000. 002, 35,500. He points to small illustrations of bees moving between flowers. 31,002, 36,000. 002, 42,500. These are your pollinator bees. In your brain, they're called neurotransmitters, especially one called acetylcholine. 32 Celsius, 02, 43,000. 002, 48,000. These little messengers fly from thought to thought, carrying vital information that creates new connections, new growth. 33 02, 49,000. 02, 51,000. Dr. Thorne's voice becomes more serious, but still gentle. 34 Umanut, 02, 51, 500. 02, 56 Zeus. Now, our hidden culprit. The things that look completely harmless, common medications. 35 Zertzaus, 02, 56, 500. 003, 800. But to your brain garden, some of these medications work like broad-spectrum pesticides. They might eliminate a few weeds, your symptoms. 36 Hanazos 303, 200. 037 Suzanun. But they accidentally chase away or harm those precious pollinator bees too. 37 Arver 03, 08,000. Robus 03, 10,000. He pauses, letting this sink in. 38 Zozra 03, 10, 800. 00003, 14th, 800. When there are no bees, the garden slowly becomes quiet, barren. 39 Zar 03, 15,300. 3, 20,000. This is what I call the silent drought. Not death, just less life than there could be. 40 Sound or 3, 21,000. 3, 26, 500. Robert sits in his comfortable living room, speaking with Dr. Thorne. Sunlight streams through windows lined with his handmade wooden frames. 41 Zura 03 27 500 0003 30,000. Doctor, it's not that I can't remember things. 42 Sun 03 30 500 0003 35,000. It's like the words are right there, but the path to them has gotten overgrown with weeds. 43 on 003 36,000 003 38 500. Doctor. Thorne leans forward, listening with genuine interest. 44 03 39,000 0401 Zuzurs. Robert, I'm not going to ask you to change anything just yet. Instead, let's try an experiment. 45 Zuras 4 Z1 500 04 Zeward. Think of yourself as the scientist of your own garden. 46 04 06,000 004 08,000. Robert looks curious but skeptical. 47 hours, 0408 800, 004 13,000. For the next 2 weeks, start what I call a gardener's journal. Just 3 simple things each day. 48 Sondran 04 13,500, 04 16,800. First, note what medications you take and when. Second, jot down what you eat. 49 Surs, 04 17,300, 04 22,500. Third, give me one small note about how sharp you felt that day, especially when working on your crosswords. 50 104 23,500, 004 25,500. Dr. Thorne's voice is encouraging, not demanding. 51 and 04 26,000, 04 29,000. No judgment, no pressure, just observation. 52 0 29,500, 004 35,000. Think of it like checking the soil in your garden. You're not trying to fix anything yet. You're just getting to know your own ecosystem better. 53, years 0, 04 36,000, years 004 38,500. Robert nods slowly, a small smile forming. 54, 4 39,000, 004 42,500. I built houses for 40 years by paying attention to details. 55 Suras 4 43,000, 47,000. I suppose I can pay attention to this old brain for 2 weeks. 56 Abra 04 48,000, 004 52,000. Doctor. Thorne stands beside a beautiful diagram showing a brain garden with different areas highlighted. 57 004 52 500, 0004 58 800. In your brain garden, there are 3 main types of pesticides that Robert, and maybe you, might be dealing with. 58 59 200, 005 02 500. Let me walk you through them like a friendly gardener would. 59 Sonruns, 05 03 500. Neon 05 500 Type 1. The bee blockers. 60 100 05 06,000, 005 08,000. These are the most direct ones. 61 005 08 500, 005 to 13,500. Medications like certain allergy pills, bladder control medications, and some older antidepressants. 62 005 14,000, 005 20,000. They're called anticholinergics, but think of them as creating an invisible fence that keeps your acetylcholine bees from doing their work. 6305 21,000, 005 23,000. Thorne points to areas of the garden diagram. 64 05 23 500, 005 27,500. The result, that brain fog and confusion that feels so frustrating. 65 05 28,000, 005 32,800. It's not permanent damage. It's just that your worker bees can't get through to pollinate your thoughts. 66 05 33,800, 05 35,800. Type 2, the time slowers. 67 05 36,500, 005 41,800. Next, we have medications like sleeping pills and anxiety medications, benzodiazepines, and what doctors call Z-drugs. 68 05 42 300, 0005 47,000. These don't chase away the bees. Instead, they put your entire garden into an artificial winter. 69 05 48,000, 005 50,000. His voice remains gentle and explanatory. 7005 50 500 05 54 500. Everything slows down. Flowers don't bloom. Messages don't get delivered. 71 05 55,000 006 0,000. The sleep they provide isn't the nourishing kind your garden needs. It's more like a forced pause button. 72 Silzanutuas 06 01 to Wesund 006 03 Sumelsunotuas. Type 3. The soil changes. 73 Susar 06 03 800 606 Thusasum. The final group is more subtle. 74 006 06 500 006 12,000. Medications like proton pump inhibitors for heartburn, some cholesterol medications, and certain blood pressure pills. 75 06 12 500 006 16 500. They don't directly affect your bees. Instead, they change the soil itself. 76 hours or 6 17 500 06 19 500. Doctor Thorne traces pathways on the diagram. 77 0006 20,000 00006 24 500. PPIs can prevent your soil from absorbing important nutrients like vitamin B12. 78 0006 25,000 006 31,000. Some cholesterol medications, while life-saving for your heart, might sometimes remove too much of the good fats your brain cells need. 79 06 32,000 006 34,000. He looks directly at the camera with compassion. 80 06 34 500 006 38 500. Now here's what's really important to understand. Each of these medications can be life-changing and necessary. 81 Asulambos 06 39,000 006 45,000. The challenge comes when we use multiple pesticides at once, without considering how they might work together in your unique garden ecosystem. 82 06 46,000 07 02. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. It's about becoming the wise gardener who knows exactly what's being planted in their land. 83 007 03 007 08 800. We see Robert at his kitchen table, a simple notebook open beside his morning coffee. He takes a small pink allergy pill, makes a note. 84 07 09 800 00 12 500. At first, I felt pretty silly writing everything down. 85 07 13,000 007 18 to 500. But after about a week, I started seeing a pattern. It wasn't as clear as day and night, more like watching the tide come in and out. 86 007 19 500 007 22,000. Robert's voice carries a mix of surprise and growing confidence. 07 22 500 007 28,000. On days when I took that little pink pill for my allergies in the morning, by afternoon my mind felt like I was walking through thick mud. 88 07 as 28 500 07 33 Santos. On days when my allergies were calm and I didn't need it, the mud seemed a little thinner. 89 Valturs 07 34,000 Valturs 07 35 and 500. He pauses, looking at his journal. 90 07 36,000 07 41,000. It was just a whisper, like Dr. Thorne said, but once I started listening, I couldn't unhear it. It's 1007 42,000 007 48,000. 2 weeks later. Robert sits across from his family doctor. A brown paper bag filled with all his medication bottles on the desk. 9207 49,000. 007 to 52,500. Doc, I think this little pill might be making my garden a bit too dry. 93,007 53,500. 0007 58 the seal ondoors. His doctor, a kind woman in her 50s, listens thoughtfully as Robert explains his observations. 94 07 58 500 0008 04 500. Robert, what you've done here is remarkable. You've become an active observer of your own health instead of just accepting that this is how it is. 95 on jars. 8 05 500. 8,000. She picks up one of the bottles, examining it carefully. 96 Surad 808 500. 0 Surah 08 13 800. This antihistamine you've been taking, it's an older type that does cross into the brain more easily. 97 So 06 08 14 300. 008 19,000. There are newer options that do the same job for your allergies but are much gentler on your thinking. 9800 08 20,000. 08 22,000. Robert nods, feeling heard and respected. 99 08 22 500. 0008 27 500. I don't want to throw away everything, Doc. I just want to make sure my garden gets the right kind of care. 100 08 28 500. 008 33 500. That's exactly the right approach. Robert, we're not going to make dramatic changes. We're going to make wise ones. Together. 101 0008 34 500. 008 36 500. The doctor smiles warmly. 102 08 37,000. 08 42 500. You've shown me that you're not just a patient anymore. You're a partner in your own care. That changes everything. 103 08 43 500. 008 46 500, Doctor. Thorne reviews Robert's journal, his expression one of genuine admiration. 104 08 47,000. 008 50,000. What Robert accomplished is extraordinary. 105 08 50 500. 008 55,000. He transformed from a passive recipient of symptoms into an active observer of his own ecosystem. 106 55 500. 2,000. That muddy feeling he noticed after taking the antihistamine, that's pharmacology happening in real time, evidence of those bees being blocked. 7293 sen. For Supawars, Doctor. Thorne sets the journal down gently. 18009 05 500. 009 11 Susan. But here's what made the biggest difference. His conversation with his doctor. The goal was never to throw medications away. 109 Hoser, 09 11 500. 009 14,000. The goal was to ask better questions. 110 09 15,000. 009 17,000. He walks toward his garden diagram. 111 Soder 09 17 500. 009 21 500. Could we find a different pesticide that targets the weeds more precisely? One that leaves the bees alone. 1 to 12. Chotro Sautro 09 22,000. 00 Yones 27. Could we reduce the amount we're using? Could we time it differently so the garden has periods to recover? 113 09 28,000. 009 30,000, Doctor. Thorne's voice carries the wisdom of experience. 114, 0, is 9, 30, 500. 34, 500. By starting that conversation, Robert changed his entire relationship with medicine. 115, Sarwan, 09, 35,000. Zao, 09, 40,000, 500. He stopped being a patient and became a partner. His doctor stopped being someone who prescribes and became someone who collaborates. 116, 00, 09, 41, 500. 009, 43, 500. He turns to face the camera directly. 117, 09, 44,000. 09, 46, 500. This is what I call precision gardening. 118, 009, 47,000. 09, 52,000. Every person's garden is unique. The soil is different. The climate varies. What makes one garden flourish might overwhelm another. 119, 09, 53,000. 09, 55,000. Dr. Thorne gestures to a collection of photos. 120, Sisra. 09, 55, 500. 10, Zisra, 50,000. Some people need stronger interventions. Their health conditions require careful, consistent medication. 21, 10, 01, 00,000. 10, 02, 50,000. Others might thrive with gentler approaches. 122, 10, 03, 000,000. 10, 07, 800. The key is understanding your own ecosystem well enough to make informed choices with your healthcare team. 123, 10, 08, 800. 10 to 10, 800. His voice becomes more personal. 124, 10, 11, 300. 10, 16 to 500. Robert's doctor didn't just switch his medication. She validated his experience. She acknowledged that what he was feeling was real. 125, 10, 17,000. 10, 21,000. That partnership, that mutual respect, is where the real healing happens. 126, 10, 22,000. 10, 24,000. Dr. Thorne pauses thoughtfully. 127 to 10, 24, 500. 10, 27 to 500. Too often, we think medicine is something that happens to us. 128, 10, 28,000. 10, 33, 500. But the most powerful medicine is what happens when we become curious, observant, and actively engaged in our own well-being. 29, 10, 34,000. 10, 38,000. When we learn to read the language, our bodies are already speaking. 30, 10, 39,000. 10, 44, 500. 3 weeks later. Robert sits at his familiar crossword table. The Sunday puzzle lies before him, the most challenging of the week. 131, 10, 45, 500. 10, 50,000. The camera focuses on his hands as he writes a long, complex word into the grid. The letters flow smoothly across the squares. 132, 1050, 500. 10, 53,000. He sets his pencil down and simply stares at what he's written. 33, 10, 54,000. 10, 56,000. There's no celebration. No jumping up and down. 134, 10, 56, 500. 11,01,000. Just a slow, genuine smile spreading across his weathered face. A single tear rolls down his cheek. 135, 11,02,000. 11,08, 500. It wasn't about solving the crossword. It was hearing a familiar sound again. The sound of my mind working clearly. 136, 11,009, Hisanda salad. 11, 12, 500. Like running into an old friend I thought I'd lost forever. 37, 11, 13, 500. 16,000. Robert's voice carries deep emotion, but also profound relief. 16,500. 21,000. For months, I'd been telling myself this was just what happens when you get older. That sharp thinking was for younger people. 139, 21, 500. 25 to 500. I was preparing to say goodbye to a part of myself I'd always treasured. 140s, 26, 500. 29,000. He looks directly at the camera, his eyes bright with hope. 141, 29, 500. 36 to 500. But in that moment, filling in that word, I realized something powerful. The carpenter in me, the guy who could see things clearly. He never really left. 37,000. 41,000. He was just waiting for his garden to be tended properly again. 143, 42,000. He lived to 45 to 500. Robert picks up his pencil and continues working on the puzzle. His movements confident. 144, 46, 500. 49, 500. I'm not the same as I was at 40, but I'm not diminished either. 145, 50,000. 56,000. I'm different. Maybe even wiser. Because now I know how to listen to what my body is telling me. I know how to be a good gardener. 146, 57,000. 58, 500. He pauses, looking thoughtful. 147, 59,000. 5,000. Growing older doesn't have to mean growing dim. Sometimes it just means learning to tend your garden with more wisdom and patience. 148, 6,000. 11,000. Robert's story isn't really about one specific medication. It's about something much more powerful, becoming the gardener of your own mind. 149, 12,000. 14 to 500. Thorne's voice carries the warmth of a trusted friend. 150, 15,000. 21,000. Modern medicine is wonderful. It gives us incredible tools that can save and transform lives, but it often hands us these powerful tools without instructions. 151, 22,000. 12 to 24, 500. He gestures to his collection of brain models and garden illustrations. 152, 25,000. 12 to 30, 500. The responsibility and the privilege is ours to read those instructions by listening to our own bodies. To notice the whispers. 53, 31 to 500. 33, 500. Dr. Thorne sits down, his posture relaxed and inviting. 154, 34,000. 40,000. This isn't about becoming suspicious of medicine or your doctors. It's about becoming curious. It's about shifting from, this is happening to me, 155, 1240, 500, 44,000, to I'm an active participant in my own well-being, 156, 45,000, 49,000. Your brain, your body, your entire being is constantly sending you information, 157, 49, 500, 55,000. The quality of your sleep, your energy levels, how clearly you think after eating certain foods or taking certain medications. 158, 55, 500, 58, 500. These aren't random events. They're data from your personal ecosystem. 159, 59, 500, 1302,000. Doctor. Thorne looks directly into the camera with genuine care. 160, 1302, 500, 1308, Usand. When you learn to read this information with patience and kindness, you become something powerful. Not just a patient, but a partner. 161, 1309, 1000, 13,000. So where can you begin? Let me suggest 3 gentle steps. Think of them as the foundation for good garden care. 62, 14,000. 17,000, Doctor. Thorne stands beside a simple, beautiful illustration showing the 3 steps. 163, 17 to 500, 24,000. First, start your own gardener's journal. Nothing fancy, just a small notebook by your bedside. Each day, notice 3 things. 164, 1324, 500, 1331,000. What medications you take and when, what you eat, and 1 simple note about how clear or foggy you feel. No judgment, just curiosity. 165, 1332,000, 1338,000. Second, schedule what I call a garden conversation with your doctor. Bring your journal and all your medications in a bag. 166, 1338, 500, 1342, 500. Ask the question Robert asked. Could any of these be affecting my thinking? 167, 1343, 500, 1346,000, Doctor. Thorne's voice becomes more enthusiastic. 168, 1346, 500, 1350, 500. Third, while you're investigating potential pesticides, actively nurture your soil with nature's garden helpers. 116, 1351, no, 500, 1354,000, beautiful. Appetizing images appear as he speaks. 170, 1354, 500. Sound. Blueberries, nature's little bodyguards against oxidative stress. Think of them as tiny shields protecting your brain cells from daily wear and tear. 171, 1401,000. 1406, 500. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines, rich in omega-3s. These are like premium building materials for repairing your neural pathways. 172, 1407, 500. 13, 500. Leafy greens like spinach and kale. Concentrated sunshine for brain health. They're packed with nutrients that help your natural neurotransmitters. 173, 14 to 500. 1416 to 500, Doctor. Thorne smiles warmly. 174, 17,000. 23,500. These aren't magic pills. They're simply ways to give your garden the best possible foundation while you and your doctor figure out the right balance. 175, 1424, 500, 1430,000. The final scene shows Robert teaching his young grandson how to solve a simple crossword puzzle. Both are laughing, pencils in hand. 76, 31,000. 33, 500, Doctor. Thorne's voice provides the gentle conclusion. 177, 34,000. 40, 500. Aging is not a prison sentence of decline. It's an invitation to become wiser, to listen more deeply, and to tend the most precious garden. 178, 41, 500. 44, 1,000. His final words are delivered with quiet conviction and hope. 179, 44, 500, 52, 500. Your mind, your clarity, your ability to connect and create. These gifts don't have to fade just because the calendar pages turn. 080, 1453,000. 1458,000. With the right care, the right attention, and the right partnership with your healthcare team, they can continue to flourish. 181, 1459,000. 1501,000. Dr. Thorne looks directly at the camera one last time. 182, 1501, 500. 1507,000. Don't just grow old. Grow wise, grow curious, grow into the best gardener your mind has ever had. 183, 1508,000. 1509,500. A gentle pause. 184, 1510, 500. 1513, 500. Start listening to the whispers today.